Okay, let's get started with this. I have a lot to say about this application, and I've actually, for the record, I have, as a citizen, written a letter to the DEC about this particular project. I didn't think it would actually get on our agenda because it's technically not west of Route 9, but because I live in the vicinity of this complex, and I've had some mysterious fuel runoff issues on my street. And I've actually called DEC several times over the years to try and get them to figure out what was going on. When I read the supporting documentation for this application, a huge light bulb went off for me. And I think we hopefully can get the macro issue addressed that's not necessarily addressed in the application. So I don't know, Jaime, if you want to talk a little bit about your background on this.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know a ton of information other than to say that the project was approved prior to this. They do have to go and provide kind of all the DEC documentation at the library. They keep it at the planning department. I haven't actually seen them drop it off at the planning department, though. I was told that they were going to do so. And so essentially, you know, I think, you know, part of what you're doing is probably the right way to go about it, right? So you reached out to the DEC. Now they're going to look at it and I guess more closely monitor it. And I'm not really sure how much beyond that. It's sort of outside of the local approvals at this point. So I think that, you know, if there are concerns in the community like you have, reaching out to DEC is the right way to go. And it seems that you've gotten their attention, right? So like the first email they kind of did, they were like, oh, we're looking at it. And I guess your follow-up email nudged them a little bit farther to go and now they're going to look into it.
Yeah, and I mean, I would like to nudge them a little bit further on a larger level. I think, you know, so just to give everybody a sense of what I wrote to DEC, just to paraphrase my letter to them, I checked out the phase 1 site assessment documentation that's included in the link. And I noticed, okay, so let's take a step back. There is a small stream at the end of Ferris Place where I live that I have noticed since I've lived on the street since 2007 has a fuel smell, especially after high flow rainwater events and spring melt events. So having worked for New York City DEP for many years, I kind of have a little bit of an understanding about the way soft surface water works and how non-point source and point source pollution works. And I kind of got a sense that there has to be some sort of underground. Do I have a sense? I can't really say that. My feeling was that there was probably some sort of underground fuel containment tank that was leaking, and that during high flow events that contaminated water was flowing towards that stream. And that's why you could only really smell it after rain events and not really during low flow periods. I have called DEC twice over the years, and they came to check it out one time, and because there was no visible sheen, which is a way that they can identify if there's a spill, they kind of just let it go. They did some preliminary testing and didn't find anything conclusive, and you know, the mystery continued. And it's, you know, something that's, I kind of always thought, well, there used to be quite a few gas stations on Croton Avenue. It was probably one of the gas stations, maybe the garages that are currently there. I wasn't really sure. And then when I read the phase 1, the supporting documentation for the Brownfield application, I did see that they noted in section 3.4, surface water does not recognize the stream, the one that I'm talking about on Ferris Place, which is located approximately 300 feet from the site. And section 3.3 groundwater, that section indicates that the groundwater flow is estimated to be northerly to northwesterly, which happens to be the exact direction that the stream is located downstream from, down the slope from the Sun Valley site. So to me, it seems like whether or not this is the silver bullet that makes that smell, I don't know. At this, over time, some of these things could be, death by 1,000 cuts. It's not clear, but certainly it's contributing to the contamination in that stream, which, the stream, as far as I know, and somebody might know better than me, maybe Dana with her historical background might know better than me. As far as I know, that small stream at the end of Ferris Place doesn't currently have a name. It was called a kill at some points. I have an old elderly neighbor that said they used to swim in the quote unquote kill at the end of Ferris Place. I'm not sure what the name is of it. But as is common in a lot of the river towns like ours, that stream was covered up and built over, who knows when, I'm not really sure. So it flows underground, I believe, by around Park Avenue, and then it daylights just for maybe 150, 200 foot stretch at Ferris Place, and then it goes back underground close to the intersection of Ferris and Croton, and then continues to flow downhill until it eventually reaches the Hudson. So part of the problem, I think, is that this poor stream has no name, right? It's a nameless stream. And it has, the DEC has this tool called the Environmental Mapper. It's a GIS-based tool. I think that's what it's called. Kate can correct me if I'm wrong. She probably knows of it. And there is a there is a data layer on that.
I think it's called the ER mapper.
The ER mapper. There is a data layer that shows all streams and has given the streams like a designation in terms of their health. And that stream does have a designation, a very poor designation. I forget exactly what the what that designation is, but when over the years, as I've tried to figure out what's going on there, I've looked into it. So I kind of think that this leads to a larger issue, which is that our streams need to be mapped. We need to have all our streams, whether they're above or below ground, acknowledged so we know what universe we're working with. I'm not really sure what the flow is of that stream, exactly what the watershed is of that stream. And there's several streams like that in the village and possibly in the town, I'm not sure. So I think, I'm sorry?
Can I pipe in?
Please.
You mentioned history. I'm looking at an 1867 map of the village that shows that stream. It starts near Brookville Avenue, which makes sense. It was called Brookville. It flows under Croton and comes around. Now in this, Ferris Place didn't exist yet, but the Reverend Ferris is on here, and that would become Ferris Place. Then it connects into what looks like a pond near what's now Dale Avenue. And then it continues to flow north. And on this map, it doesn't go into the Hudson. The Sing Sing Kill is up here. So I don't know what that little stream, it doesn't have a name on here, but yeah, Kill was Dutch for creek. So
Is this the same?
At the Hudson, though.
Is this the same stream that, looking on the maps on the application, there's a bunch of maps that show consecutively going back to like 1935 or something, and there's a stream that is drawn into those maps. Are we talking about the same stream that's directly, I guess, north of the site? Whereas Sherwood Apartments is on, or is this a
Yeah,
different stream?
it's behind Sherwood. It's behind Sherwood Apartments. It runs
Yeah.
behind the Sherwood Apartments. Yep.
Yep.
So it's the same one, okay.
Yeah.
There's a big pond there. Probably not there anymore.
On one of the maps, they had it labeled, I think, as Pleasantville Kill or something. I don't know if that was accurate, or maybe I just missed.
Well, that makes
misinterpreted
sense
that.
because Brookville Avenue in 1867 is now called Pleasantville Road. So yeah, I think it probably is related.
Oh, okay. Because I'm wondering, where's Brookville? Where's Brookville?
Yeah, it's
so-
now Pleasantville.
I see. I see.
It seems to start around there.
Oh, okay. That
So
makes sense.
That it started on, they called it Brookville because that's probably where the brook starts there.
Okay. There we go.
But then it goes into this pond and then it goes up north. It heads up north.
So you
So-
see, even on this map you're showing, you could see.
Yeah, this is the stream layer, and I think that this is the same stream layer that the county uses, the BM stream layer. And these are the hydric soils. You can see there's like the New York State wetlands and the NWI wetlands. But even though we don't have a name, because I think you're talking about the stream that goes up here towards Ferris Place, right?
Yep. Yep.
So even though it's not listed, I do believe that this area back here is all listed as a wetland, right, for the purpose of the wetlands ordinance. And so I have a map actually, but you can kind of see. I mean, I think this is Ferris Place right here, right, or maybe this is Ferris. I'm not sure.
But there's,
Well, it says it right there. You see Ferris Place off of 133.
Yeah, that's Ferris.
Yeah. And the stream is not on that map.
Yeah, so here's Ferris Place right. I'm trying to zoom into my map here.
It's like, am I on mute or no? Yeah.
No.
I'm on
Yeah.
page
So-
like 526 of that 378 page report, and it actually looks like it's drawn into those old maps, the stream. I don't know. It only gives you like a small section of it though.
there's Brookville right here. So it's not Pleasantville. Pleasantville Road wasn't built yet, but it started on my map around here and then went up behind here.
When you say here, here, and here, I can't really tell.
It started Brookville Avenue, which is by Roosevelt,
Okay. Yep.
and then it went up. Whoops, I just lost it. And then it went up. Okay, Brookville, Pleasantville Road doesn't exist yet. Here it is. And then it went up around here. There's the Reverend Ferris's place. There's where Sherwood Apartments is now. There's the pond. And then it goes up here to this, which I'm not sure what that is.
Oh, because this one most certainly, whether they hydraulically altered the stream bed could very well be, because it flows for a short stretch behind the Sherwood Apartments, parallel to Ferris, and then it goes under my neighbor's house at the end of Ferris, and then towards Croton Avenue. So that pond is no longer there.
No,
So I think they probably rerouted the stream bed course.
very possible.
I mean, so you can't. Can you see the stream underneath the Ferris coming off of Ferris Place?
Yeah, it's flowing. It's got a very nice base flow. And
It's always flowing all year long.
yeah,
Is this the same stream? Because there's a house on Dale Avenue that has like at random has a stream that just cuts through the property where there's like a small walking thing over it. Is it the same stream?
I think that's a Sing Sing Kill.
on Dale Avenue.
There's like one house that I passed that I've noticed that there's just like this stream that kind of just cuts across this person's front lawn.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a stream by Dale Avenue Park there.
That's the kill. It starts back there. It starts by Dale City.
Okay.
Yeah, I
And then
don't think
it flows
this, I
under
don't
Route
think
9.
this one is the same one, because that's a much lower elevation. This one is, you know, so they might meet up. They might meet up, but Ferris is a much higher elevation than Dale. So it's starting at a higher area, flowing down. I think it starts behind that brick building, that beautiful brick building with the big yard lot near the Triangle Park. You know which building I
The
mean?
ferry barn. I mean, the trolley barn.
It's a contract, yes. It's the old, and now it's a contractor's
Where the
building.
trolleys were kept and then buses.
There's an area there where there's a weird little stream area, then disappears underground.
That sounds like it.
I think that's it. And then I think this is what I'm saying. It's like, I really wish the state, you know, would help the river towns map these little streams, because as I said, this one, it has a constant flow. It doesn't dry up. And, you know, if we don't know what's going on, how are we supposed to?
I mean, so what we can do, one of the things we can do with the wetlands ordinance is we are able to modify the map if we identify more wetlands or streams that need to be added to the map. So I can go check it out. You know, I think that's what I'm going to have to do. Is I'm going to have to go and see if I can see it and see if it's possible to put it on the map. And then at least what we can do down the road is if any applications come up, you know, over there, that we can give it a closer look. We didn't have that option when that project went through. I'm not sure when it was approved last time, but at least we'll know moving forward if there are any modifications that we'll be able to at least talk about it. We can put it on our map. So the county is the one that we get our map data from, and it's like an enhanced data set. It's pretty good. So whatever the state's got, it's not going to be anywhere near as good as what Westchester County has. They're like one of the best GIS entities in the country. So they have really good data. But I can go check it out and see if we can add it to our map to at least be part of the process.
Yeah, and I can't remember exactly what it was. And it was kind of a pre-COVID initiative, but I do know that there was a program that Governor Cuomo launched to kind of help people better understand their water bodies, I believe. You know, I'm a little rusty on remembering that, but if it would be awesome if we could, you know, someday better understand what's going on hydraulically in the village, because we don't know. And, you know, a lot of towns like Yonkers, for example, they've daylighted some of these streams that were buried and made them into community beautification projects. And I honestly, my street, we go to that stream once a year on Earth Day and we clean it up, and it's like full of crazy junk that just ends up, I always presumed, in the Hudson. And I see kids always very curious, wanting to check that stream out. And once upon a time, people used to swim in it. Now it's, you know, this kind of sad. And I'm hoping, you know, this remediation project at Sun Valley will help alleviate some of the issues that that stream is having. But it would be great if we knew what we had, because we don't even know. And we don't have the tools to really, you know, do that. You know, you would need, because it exits a culvert, goes back into a culvert, and then not really sure. So you would need, you know, some sort of equipment, technological equipment, a remote operated vehicle, I don't know, to go down into the culvert and figure out where it's going. And that's something that, you know, small municipalities can't really manage to do, I don't think. unless we banded together, but if the state were to do it, that'd be great. In any event, what can we take away from here? I think that we should, as a committee, compose a letter to DEC, tell them we're really happy, of course, that this site is going to be cleaned up, but talk to them about the issues we have here with our streams and not knowing what's exactly going on with our streams. And hopefully, we can flag ourselves as a community that needs resources, if and ever resources exist again, the state level, which,
Yeah, maybe not this year, but I mean, it actually is, yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
So,
I would be fine with the committee drafting a letter.
Our comments need to be in by January 15. So I can draft a letter and circulate it to the group. I'm sorry if I'm multitasking, but I'm really trying to find, so it's called the Environmental Resource Mapper. That's the GIS tool I used to, when I actually did some research on this stream in other times. And they have a layer called Water Body Classification for Streams. Is that it? They've classified the streams. No. There's something else. Layers. Reference layers. I'm going to find it and then send it to you guys. I don't want to waste anyone's time. I know we all have other things to do, but I'm going to find that information and I'll include it in my letter so that they can see, that they themselves have come and given this site an impaired classification. And, hopefully, I think as I recall, what this environmental initiative was to help towns with impaired water bodies and streams that were over-constructed or dammed, and that affects the environmental quality for the fish, for the wildlife. So I think that's what the initiative was. But if they're continuing to move forward with that program, I would love to see us get some funding to deal with our ramshackle stream situation we've got going on here. And, it sounds like everybody's in support of that. So I think we should use our voice as a village committee to try and advocate for that.
Yeah, I'm looking at that resource mapper and I don't even see that stream indicated on it.
Yeah, it might have been another GIS tool, but I really thought it was on the environmental resource mapper.
Now, there was another one I think that we had done maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago at this point. I can look through my old notes and see if I have something from a different resource mapper. Maybe I'm missing something, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they starred streams that were impaired, and they gave them a designation of like A, B, or C, as I recall. And that one was like, the worst designation. But I can't seem to find that data layer right now. And again, I don't want to waste your time poking around, but I'm going to look into it and see. And then I'll follow up with you guys and send you, a draft letter with that information and for your comments. And again, we have to get it by the 15th, and I'll just try my darndest to get it as soon as possible to you, so we can, all provide comments.
Yeah, it was a little difficult because the report, or at least what we were given, was from 2017. And a lot has happened on that site in the last, I guess at this point, 4 years since that report was put together.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole building, the buildings were taken down. They're, I mean, the site is a little bit of a mess, but
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
a gas station there. I have a picture of it. It was on the corner. Back in the
Yeah,
60s.
right? And then it was a hot dog stand or something.
I know it was a mini golf course at one point.
Really?
That's what, yeah, one of the maps had a mini golf
Yeah,
course
this is a mini golf course? Wait,
in like the 1940s or 30s
take
to
that back?
40s.
Can we get the
It
mini
was
golf?
Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
lobbying for them to put in a mini golf really hard. Because if we need something.
I like mini golf.
I still wish we can get that bowling alley at the old furniture place, but you
Every
know.
time I drive past that, I'm like, it's perfect.
Mini golf is the
Those are
perfect.
all
pandemic-
post-COVID dreams, guys.
I don't know.
Post-COVID.
Mini golf is the perfect COVID era, sport. It
It
really.
is. We're outside, small groups, have to, maintain distance easily. It'd be perfect. Anyways, yeah.
Okay, that's all I have to say about it. I will follow up with you guys.
We're talking about the Sun Valley Nursery site on Croton, right? Across from
Yes.
Correct.
So their plan has been approved. It's an apartment building with retail. Is that right? That's been approved, Jaime?
I'm gonna have to go back and check. That's all way before I got here, so
Because I didn't realize that they had gotten that far. Okay.
I did not. I'm not sure if they have an approval, to be honest.
I doubt that. I doubt it.
I know. I mean, I know they have obviously the cleanup, but I'm not sure that they have the
Okay, all right.
actual approvals to build a building.
Okay.
In fact, I don't think they have,
No, probably not.
because they would have come in front of the boards for an extension or something at this point. So I think that unless what they're planning on doing is as of right, which it doesn't sound like it is based off what you just described, they do not have an approval for a building yet. I think this is just for the cleanup.
Yeah, it said in the documentation that they hadn't even submitted any plans yet.
All right, okay.
Yeah, and so can you tell me a little bit about how that process works? Did they voluntarily requested they voluntarily applied to get in this program, and now they're going to get funding from the state to clean it up? Is that how that works?
So I think, I'm not an expert on this, but I believe that they have to pay for it, and then they can ask for money after the work is done, right? It's like credits, essentially, towards this project. But I don't believe that they will do the work and get state money to do the work. It's not a direct process, I believe. I'm not an expert on it. That is my understanding of how the Brownfield program works. I know somebody who had to do a big Brownfield cleanup project in Yonkers, and they bought the property for one price. They did the cleanup. It cost them a couple $1 million to do the cleanup, and then they ended up with $20 million in Brownfield tax credits. So they sold the property for $23 million based off of the tax credits, even though the money they had into it was only half that, right? So again, they don't get, it's not a direct money, it's like tax credit.
I see.
But that's my understanding. Don't quote me on that. I could be horribly wrong, but it's my understanding that's how that works.
I see. Okay. Well, at least it sounds like they're, trying to be a good neighbor.
Yeah.
As somebody who's actually a neighbor of this property, I appreciate that.
Yes, me too. And as someone who's a super smeller living across the street from a fuel contamination site. No one else smells it but me. I thought I was going crazy for the longest time.
Have you seen that show Psych? Have you watched that show Psych?
No.
Oh,
Let me
yeah.
go down there and smell it.
You have to go after a rain, especially after it's been dry for a while and then it rains. It flushes.
I don't
through.
think you're crazy though, because even in the documents, they've commented on the oil smell that came from the drill holes when they were drilling and taking the samples, that, and there were comments talking about after certain rain events that there were certain gas smells that were emanating from those samples. So I don't think you're crazy. So it's definitely something that it's been picked up. How much of a problem they think it might be overall, I don't know, but like they went through a very extensive reporting of all of the spills within the area and on the site itself. And there was something when they did the boring, some of the samples going down to 15 feet were commenting that there was an immediate gasoline smell in the soil when they were pulling it out.
Yes.
Yeah, and they also didn't have a record of fuel tanks being removed. So, I mean, there's definitely stuff down there.
Yeah.
So, Jaime, what is the next stop for this DEC application after us?
So the DEC application, they got to do their work on that side. The application to get it actually built is a separate piece. So I do think that I need to go back and kind of see if I can find the stream and map the stream. I don't know if it would affect this project in terms of wetlands or not. It looks like it might still be kind of a far enough distance away, but it will have to go through, you know, some environmental review, right? So it's not, regardless of what it is, even if it's residential on top of commercial and it's conforming, it'd still be a conditional use. So it's still going to have to go and get some measure of you know, board approval from the planning department. And when that happens, you know, we can make sure that it goes to the EAC. You guys take a look at it. But you know, like if they're doing a brownfield cleanup, then you know, you would assume that they're doing a pretty significant cleanup over there.
Yeah. So are they, for our review of this, are they just looking for our sign off? Like what?
No, I
have comments.
if it's in a wetland area and it's a larger project, right? Then they, you know, you have to come through and you get a chance to review it. It's not sign off. It's you don't have approval authority. You just have review authority. So that's, I mean, that's important. If it's not close enough to a wetland or stream, in the case of a stream, it has to be within 50 feet. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure you're going to be able to make that in this case. You know, it might be in the check zone, but I don't think it's going to make the 50 foot. But if you're interested, you know, we can still make sure. I believe the way that we set up the practical sort of rules are that if it's, you know, not a type 2, but if it's a type 1 or an unlisted action, that you would at least get notified, right? So you could kind of take a look at it then. You may not be able to call them in, but you could take a look at the application. And so you'd be notified if anything comes forward.
Gotcha. So as for the application we're reviewing tonight, what are they looking for?
It's on the agenda because Erica requested it be on the agenda. You're not reviewing it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, okay. Will they be required to do something regarding a stormwater treatment plan? Because one of the things I noticed in the application reading through is that there was really only one site that showed proper drainage, one area on the property. So is that something that they will need to address even though they're not west of Route 9, or is this something that?
I think that the law, I think the rules in this village are that if it's greater than like 2,500 square feet of disturbance, then you have to prepare a SWIP. So probably, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I don't have anything more to add.
Okay. Cool.
All right. I have one question. I thought we had spoken about having these meetings at 7 and not 7:30, but then I saw that it was still set for 7:30. So I'm actually not sure now where we landed with that.
I hope 7:30. 7 is very difficult.
Okay, so then we were
talked about it and then it didn't work.
Okay, then it's fine. Then we decided to stay at 7:30. All right, because I remember having a conversation about it, and I was looking at day, and I was like, I said it says 7:30, so I guess I'll be there 7:30. You know, I just didn't. I wasn't certain. Thank you.
I mean, obviously, if the majority needs 7, I can make it work, but.
I mean, if it's Zoom, it's, you know, it doesn't matter to me. 7:30 is better. I had time to cook dinner, so it worked out.
Exactly. Cook dinner, get the children to eat it. Then hand them off and be like,
They don't eat dinner, they don't get their points.
Wow. That's harsh, man. That's harsh.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I will follow up with you. I'm gonna just do some digging and see if I could find that place, that one golden ticket place that actually acknowledged that this stream existed on a GIS layer, because now it's making me a little bit crazy. And then I will work on a draft of a letter and get it to you guys as soon as I can.
Yeah.
And then if I could quickly get some comments and turn around on that so we can meet the January 15th deadline, that'd be great.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
No problem. So do we need to do a second for the approval of last
The minute.
meeting's minutes?
Oh, I guess we do. I don't actually have the minutes. I think they were included in the email we were sent. Is that right? Were the minutes
I
included?
might have
I thought
minutes.
it came, right?
I have minutes that are from, that's not the right one. Oh my goodness, I have to find it too. I have September.
Been a while.
Yeah. Let me see. Oh my goodness. The minutes. I don't see that.
So quick, what was the meeting start time, you think, today?
7:30.
30?
2:30?
I don't see them. Why don't I have the minutes for November?
We didn't meet in November. That meeting was canceled for the
And
election.
December?
December was canceled completely.
December was canceled. Yep.
So then it would just be October. Okay.
I think. Wait, didn't we meet in November? And I missed
We
it.
did.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
we did.
I think we did on a Monday. The Monday after.
Yeah, we met on a
Oh,
Monday
yeah,
instead of
yeah.
a Tuesday, and yeah, I got confused and I couldn't make it.
The last set of meeting minutes I have is from September.
No, Monday, November 9. Monday, November 9 was when we last met.
Yeah, I don't. Well, the last set of minutes I have are from September. Dude. I mean, I guess I would approve it if we have it. No, that's.
Why don't I? Maybe we need to follow up with Jamie. EAC minutes. Hold on, EAC minutes. No, that's something different.
Yeah. Okay, we'll just put it on the agenda for next month to approve
Okay,
2 sets.
sounds good.
All right.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
Is
Kate.
that it? Wait, is that it?
Okay, we had only
Oh,
one
wow.
agenda item tonight. We had
Feels
only
weird
one.
being so short.
Yeah,
It's a
I
light
guess-
start to the year.
yeah, there's not a lot of construction moving ahead, I suppose. At least not west of Route 9.
No, not a lot in general. It's funny. We had a lot going on. It's kind of slowed down a little bit. And we've, hopefully it's partially, we've been doing a pretty good job of moving people through quickly, right? So not wasting too much time and not bringing stuff to board when they're not ready. So we make sure the applications are ready. So that's been helpful. Not a lot of backlog. There was a lot of backlog when I got here of stuff that had just kind of piled up, I think, because they'd been they didn't have a planner for like 9 months. So things had kind of got backed up. But appears that everything's up and running now. So
Yeah.
Well, this is good. This will give me a chance to catch up on a few things EAC related too. So then
Yeah.
I can use that time wisely now.
And Kate, if you wanted to have another meeting, I don't know if you want to come back in to talk about that.
I do, but the problem is that I got quarantined just before Christmas. Someone sent their kid to school waiting for a test result, and then we got quarantined for 2 weeks just before they changed the time frame. So I ended up pulling my kid out and doing fully remote. So I will work something out with my husband so that I can do that. I do want to still meet with you again. So I will email you and we'll work it out. My best days are Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Because my other son goes to daycare those days.
All right, just let me know. Obviously, we can do everything over Zoom. The screen sharing is super good. I have like a dual screen setup. It works really well in the office.
Cool.
And I'm in the office every day till like 5:30.
Okay.
So if you want to do it in the morning, that's fine. If it's easier to do it later after your kid's out of school, that's also fine. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
You let me know what works for you.
All right, I'll talk to my husband tonight, and I'll work out something, and I'll email you, and we can schedule something. All right, guys, thank you.
All right, all. Stay
Happy
safe.
New
Good night,
Year.
everyone.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.